In case you're wondering, I taped a segment where I sketched out an ear and then labeled the parts of it, and then I realized, well, it's just simpler to talk about the parts of the ear while I sculpt it. So that's what I did. These wire loops, they are useful for clay sculpting. You know, somebody figured that out. I wonder how many hundreds of years ago do we think the world's sculptors figured that business out? Oh, I don't know, thousands, who knows? How early did artists start making their own tools? Well, cavemen did it, we know that, for sure. Well, the primary job down here on this neck is just to lay in the clavicles. She's got no clavicles whatsoever. How's she going to function? Her shoulder, literally her shoulders cannot function. This whole region of her body cannot function without them clavicles. So we better get those laid on in a hot hurry, or this is not going to fly. Well, that's more anatomical. You know, one thing I haven't done at all is completely omitted les boubages. And I'm wondering, I'm looking at this piece, I am thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead. Is she going to be, I think I will put on the top, just put on the top of her, instead of in the drawing where you saw her full breasts, I think maybe I'm just going to put on the tops and just kind of merge them into the torso. So, and then if I were to ever be so insane as to want to make this into a complete figure, let me know down in the comments. Hello, is anyone there? Is anyone commenting? Anyway, if you are, let me know if you'd be interested in seeing this figure, this head, this torso, become a full sculpt, a full figure. She'd be about, I don't know what, 2 feet tall? Kind of fun. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see how the whole process goes. Because after I sculpt her, which I'm almost done with, I'm only a couple of hours away from being done with sculpting her. Then, next step, assuming that we go on to it, and I'm very much inclined to think we are going to go on to it, is going to be to make a mold. I'll show you guys how you would go about making a layup mold. This would not be a poured mold, just because it would actually be very fast to make this a one-piece cut poured mold. You can make the mold in an hour, and you can make an argument that, you know, time versus money. If I could knock together a mold box and pour solid and rubber in an hour, what's my time worth? Well, it depends on who I'm it depends on who I'm charging. If I'm charging a big commercial studio client, it's worth a decent amount. So, but if it's a vanity project like this, and just strictly for my own artisticness, then maybe I want to invest a little more time and show you guys how to do a layup mold, which is a very cool way of making molds, and save myself a good at least $100 worth of rubber, probably. Maybe not, but 75, 80 bucks easy worth of rubber. So we'll see. So anyway, not pleased with the eyes, so I'm going to just go ahead. I've been kind of enjoying looking at her with her sort of pupil eye details sculpted in, but I'm going to take them out now and think more thoughts about the size of the eyes, what's going on with the eyes. Just think eyeball thoughts for a little while. Okay, see, now it's back to her blank eyeballs. And blank they might remain. Like I said, I think I'm going to paint this kid. If I cast her, I'm going to paint her. And if I paint her, I don't want details on those eyeballs. I want to have the latitude to do different things with the eyes with paint. For sure. But now I think it's really close to time we give serious thought to hair. Hair in art. And that is what we're going to do next. Not to mention eyebrows. Got to have eyebrows. All right, so this girl has been sitting in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, and so she's really cold and therefore really hard. The clay, on the other hand, has been in the microwave, so it's very hot. It's actually hot. and that means it's very soft. Also means that I have to knead it somewhat with my hands before I put it on, because otherwise it will crack. When clay is that warm, oil clay, it sometimes cracks, and you have to kind of mix it back together after it's been heated. One advantage of working this way is that when you put hot clay on top of cold clay, they don't stick very well. It's not really bonding well to the head. So I can mask this hair on there, and if I don't like it, I can pull it off, and I will have done very little damage. I won't have made too many changes to the head itself. After a while, the temperatures will equalize out, and I'll keep working the clay, and then the hair will stick better to the head. But right now, it's pretty workable, and it's also pretty easy to change. If for some reason I do something here and I don't like it and I want to start over, I can just pull the whole hair off, and no problem. So basically at this point I'm just looking to see how I want to work this. Are we going to have really straggly hair? Are we going to have sort of big massive forms? Still not sure at this point. I'm just experimenting and feeling my way, seeing what's going to look good, seeing what is going to be appropriate for her. I think it's amazing how she's already changed. Just this amount of hair that I put on has already really changed her look. She looks much more female, at least to me. And yeah, I think I'm liking the direction it's going in. I think her hair is going to kind of lay against her head. She certainly isn't going to have supermodel 80s big hair, that's for sure. She's going to have pretty limp and straggly and forlorn hair, somewhat unkempt hair. I think that's going to be the look that's most appropriate for her. But we shall see. It'll develop on as we go. So the plan, when this girl is done with the sculpture phase, is going to be to put her into a rubber mold, a rubber layup mold, and then cast her in resin. And one of the things I hope to do at that stage is to show you that the sculpting doesn't end when we come out of the clay phase. It continues on. Modifications and customizations and changes can be made just as well to the resin casting as it can be made to the clay. So we probably will be doing some of that. We shall see when we get there. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of generally the plan. We are right now at about the 6-hour mark on this girl, so we're comfortably under our 8-hour budget. Due to the miracle of YouTube, we are now at the 7-hour mark. My iPhone died, and I kept sculpting. Oh well. But anyway, so we're now at about 7-hour mark, and as you can see, I've put more detail and played more with the hair. And yeah, now I think it's time to put on the eyebrows. So I'm just going to start by building up some mass of hair, but you don't want them to look like sausages laying on top of the forehead. So we're going to want to go ahead and make them look more hairy and blend them in and kind of smooth them out. And that's the process here. I'll wind up sculpting them in quite a bit more so that they look like hair on a surface as opposed to looking like a worm laying on there, which we don't want. So keep working it. Just push them down, mash them around. It's pretty easy. I could have gone with no eyebrows on this girl, but I think that she's going to look better with them. So we shall see. But yeah, just carve them in. Get them done. All right. We are wrapping this thing up, slow but sure. Well, this girl is pretty much done, but here's the thing. I don't really like her. It's not so much that I don't like her, it's that she just doesn't match the intention of what I set out to do. So at that point, what do? Do you start over? Do you let this thing be done and call it something else? And I think in this case, I'm going to make extensive modifications to this girl instead of starting over. I think it'll be more fun, and but I won't do that in this video. I'll do that in the next video. So look for that. It'll be out in a couple of days, or I don't know, 8 months, whenever I get it done. All right, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.